Hello and welcome. It is now June and there's a few things I'm going to speak to you about. We're going to look at things from a Starseed Numerology perspective, and I have no doubt that there is a lot of light language and some supportive codes that are going to come through today. So come and settle in. Now, you might want to get a notebook and a pen. You might want to keep tabs of some of what I'm going to share with you, because the information, it spans out, summing up a lot of energies we had last year, as well as what we're going to have this year, as well as what we're having this month, because it's quite significant. Now, like all things, you just take whatever resonates and you leave the rest. There are so many different numerologists on this planet who calculate differently, perceive numbers differently. Like there's all these different sorts of ways. So in my perspective, pay attention to the glimmers, pay attention to anything I say or share that gives you like goosebumps, curiosity, excitement. That's for you, you know? Anything else, anything that's kind of like wonky, just leave it. It's not for you. It's cool. So without further ado, just going to tune in, just seeing some cool light codes coming down. And just I think doing some work on me, to be honest. Opening up for me, because honestly, something that's been coming up for me, which is numerologically connected and everything, but it's this like lack of personal power, feeling a bit insecure, a bit scared of being on camera, about like putting myself out there. It's been something I've been working through, so I'm just gonna receive that opening. They're grounding me. Thanking you. Okay, now where we go. We're going to begin on June. So June is this spectacular energy, and it always is every single year, because it marks our 6th month out of 12 months on the Gregorian calendar. June is quite significant, and it always is, and it always will be. So when we think about June, we know that it's a 5 portal month this month. We know that last month was a 4, so it has this natural flow on effect. Now the 5 is free-spirited, adventurous. It's all about change and transformation. So this is the month that travel will happen. This is the month that things that aren't, flowing will either find flow, or whatever plan was once in place is gonna go out the fucking window, because the 5 comes in and it's like, I like your routine and all, but let's flow. Let's be spontaneous. Let's invite some water to just move where we want to move. It's just different, okay? It's more feminine in a way. So have fun. Now that we're in June, this is also important, because when we have our 8 portal year, what happens is that the energy from the previous year actually stays with us for the first 6 months. So last year's 7 portal year stays with us for the first 6 months of the year. And then at that mid-year point, it changes over. And then the 9 portal year for next year, for 2025, starts correlating and interrelating. So what happens is that next year's 9 portal year will start coming in halfway through, which is now. So what I feel guided and inspired to share with you guys today is a little bit more about last year's 7, and how up until like a few days ago, that energy was actually still relevant for us, and cosmically, numerologically, thematically, symbolically, all that has to do with why we're going through what we're going through. So a little bit like, let's just like cast your awareness back to last year. Last year was a 7 portal year, connecting us with themes of curiosity, truth seeking, sacredness, It was connecting us to teaching, to the learner, the student. Now, from a star seed and cosmic perspective, the 7 is connected to the Pleiades. In mythology, you have the 7 sisters, so it's all interrelated. Now, this is really significant from my lens and view of the world, because if we as a collective journey through 1 to 9 year cycles, then when we collectively experience a 7 and collectively journey with a close connection to the Pleiades, you've got to think it's quite significant, because, you know, the Pleiades as a starseed lineage have so much influence on, I mean, according to New Age, you know, spirituality, but, you know, bringers of the dawn, there's many different texts that have been written and channeled through the Pleiadian teachers, star mothers, people that come and guide us in this way, people, beings. So as a collective and on a personal level, we've all still been wrapping those themes up, and the way we've experienced our 8 year has actually been entwined with this 7. All of the themes that are connected with that 8, which are your power, authority, your respect. You know, some say that 8 is also connected with Saturn, you know, the ruler of time, the ruler of this, it's a very mature sort of energy. See what works for you, you know? But what you can see moving forward for this year is that we've really wrapped that up. And now moving forward with this 8 and this 9 dance together is a lot of the gifts and the shadows of the 8, we're going to actually start to see how they coalesce and dance with that 9, and the whole world is going to really, really fucking shift. The very knowing that we as a collective are journeying to 9, which is the completion of a full 9-year cycle, that's pretty massive. You know, if you look back in history, I've literally gone and done the research to see what the deal is, and so many times if you look back in history, the years of the 7, 8 and 9 are of the most significant in, you know, all these sorts of areas of the planet. You've got ones in like Russia. I remember looking back in the 1800s, and it was on a 9 portal year that they had a massive revolution, you know. So it's like, it's these sorts of things that you can anticipate and expect when you have this 8 and you have this 9. And, you know, something to also be really mindful of when we have this 8 portal year energy is the shadow is actually the misuse of power. Now, if I've learned anything, it's that what you see is not always what you get. And there's a lot of smoke and mirrors in all sorts of industries and avenues of this world, whether it's in the beauty industry, whether it's in the coaching industry or the spiritual space, whether it's in, you know, the education system. There's a lot of smoke and mirrors. So it's really important, in my perspective, when we're dealing with this 8, pay attention to the fucking tyranny that can be playing out. The way that you and I and all of us can be manipulated. The shadow of the 8 is actually really connected with war. And do I even need to say what has been absolutely infiltrating so much of social media and our news, you know, the war between Israel and Palestine, all of these like differentiating perspectives and views and blah, 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 and all of a sudden everyone fucking is all about it. It's very 8 energy. This is going to be really important. And, you know, if we're talking about it in terms of like a spiritual, you know, internal lens, this 8 portal energy for our year beckons us to come into balance with what power is, with what authority is. So if, you know, what could scare those who want power over you, and this can be in any and all contexts, more than you being in your power, more than you not needing them or needing anything for that matter, but in fact knowing that your inner resource is where you're going to find it. No, it's not always that easy, but, you know, can you be profited from if that's the case? I don't fucking think so. So with this 8 portal year, start paying attention to the smoke and mirrors that are gonna illuminate and become really fucking apparent. All I'm saying is the biggest guidance that I think any of us on this planet could abide by is don't let them fucking profit from insecurity. Like, What the fuck? You knew? No. Now, I'm just going to share some codes and connect in with the Starseed connection for the 8 energy. Okay, so some connect the 8 with the Orion Starseed lineage. And I still really feel this presence, which is connecting to our 5 portal month, which I'm actually feeling Lyran energy right now. The ultimate message that's coming through with regards to this 8 energy is, you know, as within, so without. As we see things that disturb us in the media and disturb us all around the world, as within, so without, all you can focus on is the internal war, the conflicting parts within yourself, and renegotiating all of the density and all of the heavy parts and bringing them into unity, bringing them into your love. And I even feel this like clench fist energy. A shadow of the 8 is like anger. So don't be surprised if you're experiencing and processing depths of your anger that you have not felt, because you have your human level of anger, but then you also have your multidimensional anger that can span across all sorts of lifetimes, from being oppressed, which in the shadow of the 8 we deal with. So just bring your awareness to that, and I can see like a white energy, that your awareness in and of itself will begin the clearing for that. So what are you not? Now, so this 8 as well, it's a very warrior kind of energy, you know. That's more of the, let's say, masculine or assertive expression of it. And I can feel there's like this big fire. There's a lot of fire energy of like this, like, you know, and it's coming to the forefront of like, stand up now, like stand up, like stand in your power, in my power, in all of our power, in a new way that we are likely unfamiliar with, because hello, we have been subliminally marketed to since we were in the womb. Go easy on yourself. But it's utilizing healthy levels of your fire, because if the anger is there, if the rage is there, if the fear and the upset and the mistrust is there, then that's as it is to be. And moving forward, the goal is harmony. And then the vision of use your remote to choose your channel. So that's a bit of the Starseed 8 version sort of energy. Now, there's just a little bit more light language that wants to come through. I feel like there's just some severing of ties and some soothing that is needed right now. Ooh, yeah, na. Ooh, yeah, na. Yeah. Ooh, Haya na. Huhu kaya. Okay, now let's see. I'm just seeing and sensing what else it is to be addressed in this video today. So, anything practical? Cool. So, something that is just to be reiterated right now. And this is a timeless message as well. This isn't something that is going to expire by the end of, you know, this numerological season. This isn't a portaled information that is of the highest good. So one of the most important things that I think that is coming through, which is connecting us to our sovereign birthright as starseeds on this planet, to come into inner cosmic union and harmony within ourselves. We have a birthright to be through all eternity. Now, there's a lot of different, layers we've all been journeying through, I'm seeing. And something that I'm seeing is this, like, heaviness, like this, why? Why? And something that's just being reiterated is, if you knew you had a choice, what would you share? Inspired by the light within, if you could dance with the cosmos within. Okay, so that's wrapping us up for today. This video took a very different turn than I expected, but I guess that's what happens when you channel. That's just like letting flow happen, which is totally attuned to this 5 portal month energy. Now have an absolutely beautiful day, and I'm gonna go ground.